Hello YouTube. So put the gears in, it's all metal now. I suppose it'll have to bed in plus get lubed up before it's, you know, it's not bad. It's also because it's resting on the bottom there. So it doesn't feel as smooth as the plastic ones yet, but I'm sure they'll bed in. Like you can see underneath, there's loads of dust from the white gears, just like those bed in. So I was going to do a full video of putting them in, but it was quite a pain, so I thought I'd just do it and then try and do a recap at the end. So I started off with this shaft, which has these two, well, this one gear, whereas your steel gears come in two parts. They sort of just slot together. There's like a little gap on the inside of this gear and a notch out on this gear, so you just slide them in the way they fit. That pushes up to this edge which holds that gear there, and then there's a lock pin here to lock that gear on. You will have to put your bearing on first because it doesn't fit over. So take this off, put a bearing on. You could put shim on if you wanted to, I don't think I did. Put this one on, slide that one in, put your pin in, that's that. I have put a shim on top of this new bearing here. I've put a metal shielded one there because I didn't have any glue. And then its threads side in. And that's your slipper clutch. The next gear, it's pretty simple, it's just one of the FOC gears, you'll tell it because it goes onto that, and then you've got two split pins on the back which go into these crevices. That's how that locks on. So the other gear that you get that looks the exact same as this, just a few little differences on the back. This has got one all there and then one right next to it, which locks it onto the shaft. Then on the other side of that you put your spacer, and I put a Teflon washer on there because it was on the other shaft. Now this is the shaft, sorry about that. This is the shaft from the very first gearbox, so this was when reverse was on it. And I think you need to have that so that you get these crevices here, which is how this gear locks on with the two grub screws. So that's why you have to swap out the FOC shaft and put back in the reverse shaft. So that one goes in there. There's another bearing which is slightly bigger than the smallest one. Just notch it into it. Goes in. The worst, let's take that back out, the absolute pain in the arse is this. Well, it was just literally that piece there, the horseshoe clip. It's the first time I've come across one of those, so that's why it was probably hard for me, because it took me ages to get a screw on. Look, chipped it up a bit. Just wedging screwdrivers in there and trying to prise it off. In the end it finally gave in, let me take it off, but then putting it back on was just as much as a bastard getting it off, maybe more so. I think I just like sort of slid it into one end and then just cranked it round. When I got a tiny little bite, I used some big pliers just to crank it down. It seemed to have worked. I'll take it apart so you can just see. This is what it looks like when it's all broken down. You got the first gear, which this plate will go in through that way, and you have to line up the hex. It's not a tight fit, so it keeps slipping while you're trying to get this horseshoe thing on. If anyone knows the best way of getting these on and off, please let me know. If there's a special tool or something, because it really did take the piss. And then on second gear, it's pretty simple, as long as you remember which way the shims go. Yeah, the shims have to go on top of the small bearing, and the big bearing goes inside the back. So you got your shaft with your electric clutch, whatever it's called. I did have a little problem with this, where the screw goes in. It was rubbing, so I just filed it down just a tiny bit. You can't even tell, but it stopped them rubbing, so that was good. So you put your bearing on the shaft, fits right onto that. Put that on the inside so it comes up and the bearing goes inside. And you put that bearing inside over this way. Then you put your shims on. I use 2, doesn't say how many to use, so I don't really know. Probably 1, but I thought 2 won't hurt. They're very thin. And you just put your normal gear on, which goes that way to go over that slot. Put your split pin in, which is pretty simple. It's just like taking your FOC out. So it is easier than what I expected. Like, the only hard part really is getting this metal piece out of the plastic first gear. But if you know how to get these horseshoe things off, or if you've got a special tool, you won't have a problem with that. That's it. You just put this little easy clip on, should I say. So that's that. So I haven't got anything on the back. You can just take that one off if you wanted to. Then you know how to set your shifting point, which I'll need to do soon. So I've gone through and replaced the bearings. There's a Teflon washer sitting on that, which will go over this, so don't lose that. Test it out. So that's it. The only difference you make from putting in your plastic FOC, which I'm sure you have done if you've considered the steel, because the OptiDrive is gay, this is the only change that you make. You take the shaft that you put in when you put your plastic FOC in, take that away, lock this gear on with the 2 grub screws into the recesses of those, put your slidey spacer thing on the other side, Teflon washer, just in case you have to. It doesn't say that. Like it says, the instructions are very vague. There's not much help anywhere else either, so that's it. Just going to grease it up now with some of this graphite stuff. Hope it's going to be helpful to people. I wish I had this video and I hope it would have helped me, but sorry if it's not. That's it. The flash is interfering with it. Feels smoother now. Still rubbing on the bottom, so that's why it's not a bit like that. Put a bit too much grease in, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. So, to put your Robinson's Racing Steel FOC in place of your plastic FOC, you'll be removing the bar from the plastic FOC, putting your old one back in. That's pretty much it for changes. These are the bearings I replaced. There's 3 sizes, little ones, medium, and then the J-toe. So if you buy a J-toe bearing kit, you'll get all those sizes. The screws are M3 by 10 countersunk. Put those on. That's it. You know how to put your slipper clutch on and everything. So hopefully this has helped someone at least. Put your thumbs up if it did. Thanks.